Today on Getting Real with the Housewives, Jennifer Lawrence reacts to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City finale as Andy Cohen tells us what the future holds for Monica.
You know, I think one of the great things about the reunions is that it's a chance for people to say their piece and kind of appeal to their castmates if they've been ostracized.
Lisa Hochstein gives an update about where she stands in her divorce and why she is hopeful for the future.
I would love to put this all behind me. This has gone on way too long.
Plus, the Trace Amigas are no more. Joe Gorga gets ejected from a wrestling match, and Croy takes Kim to court again. We've got that plus so much more in today's Getting Real with the Housewives. Hey everyone, Christina Garibaldi here, and welcome to a huge week of Getting Real with the Housewives. I don't know about you, but all I can talk about still is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City finale and episode 1 of the reunion. We're going to get into it in just a second, but let's check in and see what you guys had to say about last week's show. One user says, I wholeheartedly adore Teresa and her family, and the personal development that she has undergone is truly remarkable. Teresa is a stunning woman, and she should continue to strive for greatness. This was in regards to Teresa going down to the Bahamas, meeting up with Joe Giudice, having a great family time, and it is really nice to see how far they have come. Who would have ever thought that they would be in this situation going all the way back to season 1 of New Jersey? Definitely couldn't have predicted that one. Classy Conversations says, the bottom line is Garcelle and Sutton can give it, but they can't take it. I'm a very fair person, and I'm calling it as I see it. Sutton has been way out of line. Garcelle has pulled the privilege card too often, as well acting like a mean girl to Derick. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but I mean, Garcelle, this is how Garcelle feels, and it seems like Derick was a little tone deaf in the conversation, but please let me know what you guys think in the comments about this as well. I'm sure this is going to be something that is definitely brought up in the upcoming reunion. All right, well, let's get into the news of the week. Like I said, everyone is still talking about the shocking season finale of Salt Lake City. Even Bravo superfan Jennifer Lawrence, during an interview at the Golden Globes, she could only talk about Salt Lake City as well. She told Entertainment Tonight, I mean, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I just want to give a shout out to the best finale I've ever seen on reality TV. Everything that you want for the truth, receipts, timelines, I got it all. She noted that she was a couple days late watching the episode because she was preparing for the award show. She said, and I have the group chat, so I was like, water cooler, like I have to see this now. And I was stone cold sober because I was starving for this event. She added that her jaw dropped at the big reveal of Reality Von Teese. And she said in a separate interview with E! News that it was the best reality TV finale, I think, ever. I mean, she said jaw was on the floor, so was mine. It was unbelievable. You know, of course, we caught up with Andy Cohen this week, and he actually couldn't believe his eyes either. He did say that they didn't know Monica was who she said she was. I know that there's a lot going around online that there was a cease and desist sent to Monica before she was even cast. But according to Andy, he had no idea. And we had to, of course, ask him about what the future will be for Monica as well. Take a look. Did that finale for you go down maybe top 3 Housewives episodes of all time? And where does it kind of rank for you?
I think it is top 10 for sure. And it was just beautifully produced. I mean, it was just absolutely, I mean, it was dramatic. It was incredibly dramatic, but they really, our partners at Shed Media did a phenomenal job constructing that episode, because it was like watching The Sixth Sense. You didn't know who they were coming up against or what was happening. And it was great.
Now, where, I know you can't probably tell me yes or no, but where do you see Monica fitting in this group going forward, post-reunion?
You know, I think one of the great things about the reunions is that it's a chance for people to say their piece and kind of appeal to their castmates if they've been ostracized. So I think it's a conversation to be had after the reunion airs and see where people are at, fans and castmates.
Can you see them filming together in the future based on what went down at the reunion?
Too early to speculate.
You know, it's kind of leaving the door open, as of course he would, but I don't know where they go from here. We still have 2 more episodes of the reunion. I really don't see there being any sort of resolution at the end of this. How could they ever trust her going forward? There's no way that she will be invited back into this friend group, but stranger things have happened on, well, maybe not stranger things have happened on Housewives. This pretty much takes the cake, so we'll have to see where this one goes from here. Let me know in the comments what you think. Should Monica be back? How can she come back? it's going to be a long road of redemption for her. All right, well, speaking of road to redemption, the Trace Amigas are no more. Tamra Judge took to Instagram on January 7th and wrote, "I felt like I just took the biggest dump of my life. So relieved." It came one day after Vicki and Shannon announced the launch of a nationwide comedy tour alongside guest host Doug Budin. Of course, as you may recall, they were all on tour together. So Tamra, for her part, also announced her own set of live shows for Two Teas in a Pod with Teddy Mellencamp and Tamra Judge. She shared a series of Instagram stories, including a photo of herself with the caption Uno, and another of her and Teddy, which she captioned Dos, and a third with Emily Simpson, which she captioned Trace. So not sure if these are the new Trace Amigas. Well, Vicki furthered the drama by reposting an Instagram story from a fan account reacting to the news, and it read, "Two T-holes have nothing on Shannon and Vicki. We know which show we'll be watching." Well, in response, Tamra screenshotted the story and wrote via X, "My friend, my soulmate, my sister, my ass," when a user reshared Tamra's post and noted that the breakup happening on January 6th is crazy. She replied, "Yeah, January 6th is not a good day for her." When one Twitter user accused Tamra of setting up drama for OC's next season, Tamra actually clapped back, said, "Not everything is about the show. Some stuff goes further than a TV show." I mean, this really went back and forth for a very long time. She added, "Let's see who films this season." So I did ask Andy about it. He was very hush-hush when it came to the topic. He said that he was taken off guard by this. This will be filmed in the upcoming season. No idea if Vicki's going to be back full time. We also spoke to Tamra because she was promoting the Traitors. Again, she said we'll have to wait and see what happens when filming. So, you know, the queens of teases, and, you know, I'm really surprised by this. It seemed like they were all in a really good place when we spoke to them at BravoCon. They were all had Shannon's back after her DUI, but it seems like something went down, and it seems like it may have to do with Tamra becoming friends with Alexis Bellino, who of course is now dating Shannon's ex, John. It's going to be a messy OC season, and I am here for it. Well, the mess continues for Kim and Croy. As we know, Kim has been selling shoes, clothing, and other items since her split from Croy, and now he wants to make sure that he gets his fair share. So he filed paperwork yet again on January 8th seeking an equitable division of marital assets, including the ex's shared home in Georgia and the personal property acquired during the marriage. Croy asserted that Kim acquired an expansive collection of designer purses, shoes, and clothing during their marriage, claiming that most of the items have never been used and or worn and are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in total. He claimed that Kim has begun selling some of that personal property and alleged that it is unknown what she has done with the funds since she received from the sale of the items. Further claimed that none of the funds have been utilized to support the marital estate, which is kind of sad because they are in pretty much financial ruin at this point. We thought she was selling these items for, I mean, allegedly, who knows? We thought that she was selling these items to, you know, get themselves out of debt. They have to sell their home. Otherwise, you know, it can go back into foreclosure. There's a lot up in the air with this, and it seemed like they're doing anything they can to get some money back, but this is not a good situation. It keeps getting uglier by the minute. All right, moving on over to Jersey. I feel like we haven't talked about Jersey in a while, and I'm ready for that trailer. I feel like the show is coming back soon, so I feel like a trailer should be around the corner. But Jackie Goldschneider says she's ready to take a big step in her eating disorder recovery journey. So she said on the Wind Down podcast, "I still have not weighed myself since May of 2021, but I have lately been having a lot of conversations with my dietitian and therapist, who I still speak to once a week, about getting back on the scale. While her doctors think it probably would be a horrible idea for her to do so, she said that something in her wants to know how much I've gained and wants to see what happens. She explained, "I'm at this place where I'm about 75% recovered, and I have this 25% of these old habits that I'm scared to let go of. Nothing anorexia. I am not anorexic anymore. I don't restrict myself like that anymore. There's just things that I'm scared of, and a big overriding fear is gaining too much weight if I let go of certain habits because I've already gained a fair amount of weight." So given her unhealthy relationship with the scale in the past, she said her doctors are scared of me adding back issues into my life by focusing on a number instead of how I feel. Now, I spoke to Jackie a few months back when she released her book, The Weight of Beautiful, and she also said to me that she had not stepped on a scale because that was very triggering for her. She wasn't concerned about the number, but hopefully she feels like she's in a place of recovery where this would be a good step for her rather than a negative. So we wish her the best. She looks fantastic. fantastic. It seems like she's in a really good place. If you haven't read the book yet, it's actually very, very good, and it's a really good read. So excited to see what happens with her next season on Jersey, since she has switched teams over to Teresa Giudice and Jennifer Aiden. It's definitely gonna be a good one. Cameras were not rolling on Joe Gorga when he was ejected from his son Gino's wrestling match in New Jersey after storming the floor following a disagreement with the referee. There is video of this, so you should check it out after you watch this. So he was watching Gino compete at Morris Plains High School on January 6th when the referee made a call he didn't agree with. Like I said, in video obtained by TMZ, he can be seen getting up from his seat in the bleachers and walking to the center of the gym floor to confront the ref. As Joe approached the official, two other men began to restrain him and push him toward the door. They could be heard saying, "Get out," as Joe continued to yell at the referee. A rep told TMZ that he felt like the ref made some bad and unfair calls during the match and Gino's opponent was mistreating him. The spokesperson went on to say that Joe never had any intentions of hurting anyone or getting physical, and he let his emotions get the best of him. I can only imagine what Gino must have said to his dad that night. I'm sure it was a very, Dad, you're embarrassing me, and this is not how we act at high school wrestling matches. It's not that serious. All right, Lisa Hochstein's endless battle with her ex Lenny since their marriage blew up on Real Housewives of Miami. It's been over a year and a half, and they are still battling it out, throwing insane accusations at one another, and things have turned very, very ugly. Well, we actually spoke with Lisa, who, yes, said that it's a very tumultuous time in her life, but she is actually still hopeful that maybe one day they can put their differences behind them and just focus on their kids. Take a look.
Yeah.
What does co-parenting look like for you now?
One thing about Lenny and I guess, I'm saying his name. I shouldn't be saying that name. I get in trouble every time I say it. But, when it comes to the kids and getting them on track, that's one thing we do agree on.
That's good.
So that's good.
Right, yeah.
But everything else, the lawsuits and the motions and I don't know when the divorce is happening. I would just like to put this all behind me, move on, and not deal with all this negativity. It's really bad for us, but it's terrible for the children. I don't want this. I don't want them reading about this. I don't want them feeling, our energies and all of that. So I just can't wait for this to be behind me.
I'm sure. And how do you kind of shield them from everything?
Well,
if you can?
I try never to speak about the subject in front of them ever. If they have questions, of course, I'll answer it the best way I can.
Are you hopeful that within the next few months this may wrap up?
I would love that. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I would love to put this all behind me. This has gone on way too long. That's my hope.
Yeah.
That we can maybe one day be cordial.
I was going to say, are you hopeful maybe one day that I'm sure you're not going to all sit around and break bread, but you can all just be in a good spot or a healthy spot.
I would love that. And I really hope that for my children. I think the most important people in this whole situation are my kids. Yeah. And that's what I want for them.
Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap things up with our social spotlight, and mine goes to Angie K, who really held her own during the first episode of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. She posted this on her Instagram stories, saying, "I'm not mad at Monica. She's a fan. Even reality contees. New Angie K is a pillar in the Salt Lake City community. Receipts incoming." She then posted a series of screenshots showing reality Vontees praising Angie and, saying that she never went after her. Angie said she didn't go after her until she started being on the show. So, Monica's got a lot of explaining to do, but like she said in the finale, this story is far from over, and I just can't wait for the tea that's going to be spilled in the next few episodes. I feel like this should be a 6-part reunion, but I think we're in for a wild, wild ride. All right, well, that's it for this week's episode of Getting Real with the Housewives. Let me know in the comments what you are most looking forward to about the Salt Lake City reunion, and I will check in with you guys next week.